I think when it comes to UAE-Turkey tensions, I think these are primarily geopolitical, in that the UAE is trying to expand its influence through its maritime policy, through Yemen, through Somalia, up into Eritrea, through Sudan, to Egypt, into the Mediterranean, towards Libya. And Turkey as well is trying to expand its influence in these very same areas. And the success of one comes at the expense of the other. So there is this natural tension that is taking place between these two countries. However, when it comes to Turkey-Saudi relations, the reality is that the tensions are far more personal. Saudi officials argue and believe that but for Turkey and but for Erdogan, the murder of Khashoggi would never have become an international issue. And that Turkey, which Saudi argues has its own issues with freedom of speech, used the Khashoggi issue in order to apply political pressure and provoke the US into replacing Mohammed bin Salman for a crown prince more favorable towards Turkey's interest and more inclined towards warmer relations with Turkey. And this is why it is a personal vendetta that has led to the breakdown of relations between Saudi Arabia and between Turkey. So when we're talking about reconciliation in the context of this phone call that took place between King Salman and between President Erdogan, the reality is that the phone call was more about Saudi Arabia ensuring that there were no hiccups with the G20, because it wanted to present the G20 as its bid of being reintegrated and rehabilitated into the world following the immense pressure applied by the Khashoggi affair that it argues Turkey exacerbated and brought about. And this is why we see a disconnect between the Turkish reports, which suggest that Erdogan and King Salman agreed to pursue a improvement in relations between the two countries, and between Saudi official statements which simply state that the relations between the two countries are fine. This is why we see a disconnect between Turkish analysts who are touting the possibility of reconciliation and how it might come about, and that it might be encouraged by the coming of the Biden administration, and between Saudi analysts who are not touting such prospects at all and rather insisting on continuing the anti-Turkey rhetoric, implying that no order has come from above to change tact or change the language when it comes to Turkey. The reality is that Saudi sees that Erdogan is in a very difficult economic situation. France is relentlessly chasing for EU sanctions on Turkey. Biden is going to be antagonistic towards Turkey and also try to apply pressure. And there's an election coming up in Turkey in the near future where Saudi hopes Erdogan will fall. So any prospect of reconciliation between these two countries is quite simply dependent on Erdogan being able to survive another election, to secure another election victory and impose himself once more for another 4 years, whereby Saudi Arabia will seriously consider whether it is worth setting aside the Khashoggi affair, as has been implied by Turkish officials, in favor of warmer relations.